Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. Yana Kasperczak coming to you live from Ontario of Canada as your certified professional performance and spiritual awakening core energy coach. It has been my soul's purpose to help women, to help you get your shit together so you can break free from the mental prison you find yourself in and build a life, a business, and or a career that you are obsessed with. And on Mondays, I do card readings in this Facebook community, Heal the Unicorn, Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women. So if you're listening to this card reading, this podcast on a different platform, then come check out the group, see if it aligns with you, especially after you're done listening and you like what you hear, because there's a lot more in this community. So today I'm decided to pull out this deck of cards. And also, before I forget, FYI, some of you might already know, some of you will know that for the next 2 weeks I actually will not be going live. I have pre-recorded the lessons, the videos, so you'll be watching the recorded version. And I actually do use this deck one of the weeks, and the readings were actually pretty powerful, pretty great. So I know, I feel like it's important with the new year coming up, with Christmas, with a lot of things happening and a lot of people feeling all over the place because 'tis the season. I feel like it's important to have a little bit of guidance, and in the form of one card. Interesting how it's this card that came up as I was shuffling. I saw this card a few times and I'm like, I wonder what this is. Beautiful. This is a really gorgeous deck. Perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. What I would say with this card is everything that we're going through, it feels like this is the end. This is it. That this is like the worst thing that it can ever be. That things will never get better, and it's just a struggle and suffering and feeling pain. And really, if we pause and think about, will this matter at the end of my life? Is this gonna be the hardest day that I will remember? Is this gonna be something that will really, really matter? And sometimes the answer might be yes, because you're meant to be doing something better, something different. You're meant to zoom out and see things from afar. Because right now, when you're in the midst of challenges, shitstorms, emotional times, it's hard, maybe even impossible to see where you are because you're so zoomed in. It's like, with your camera, you have many different options of how you can see things. You can really zoom in and really see things that maybe your naked eye can't see. And you can really zoom out and you can even take a picture of the whole entire room that maybe you can't even see with your own eyes. So with life, sometimes we're all like that, where we zoom in and we just focus on this one little thing that really doesn't matter. And our life wouldn't change drastically, or it might, depending on what it is that we are doing or not doing, what we're taking action or not taking action on. And it might potentially even determine the rest of our life. So zoom out and see for what it is. Because in some cases, you might not be doing something that you know you're meant to be doing. You're trying to go around something that you're meant to go through. You're saying no to something, or some things that you are meant to say yes to and do and take on. So figure out what it is and decide what you're going to do about it. You can't sit around and wait for things just to happen for you. It ain't gonna happen that way. You gotta do it yourself. Let me see. Rebecca says, oh, you can't hear me from either page. Lisa says, yes. So you can hear me, Lisa? Let me make sure. Yeah, my mic is on. This is in all the way because this is where I'm speaking from. I hope you can hear me. And if not, then it's going to be read my lips kind of a game. Okay, yeah, so Rebecca says, okay, I can hear now. Wow, that was cray cray. Hey, sometimes it happens. I wonder why. Maybe it was something on my end, maybe it was Facebook or something on your end. Okay, good morning to you, Bonnie, as well. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Rebecca. Hello, beautiful ladies. Okay, so let's shift our perspectives, shall we? And let this reading do a little bit more speaking and common ground. Yeah, as you're zooming out, you can also then find the common ground of what you want to do, what you don't want to do, what you're meant to do, what you're not meant to do, and take action. Because usually whatever it is, it's going to call you for taking some action and not call you for taking inaction. Okay. Take a step back. I'll put it this way so it'll look like I'm looking up a little bit more. Take a step back and look at the bigger picture of your life. Step away from the blinkered vision and reactive frame of mind of me against them. Change your perspective. Shift your point of view and zoom out, out, out. And keep zooming out until you see the whole entire picture. Everything is in view, and you start to see more than what you have currently been seeing, where you might feel like everything is out to get me, everything is happening to me, everything all at once. I can't do it, I can't handle this, is too much. I'm not ready, not yet. All those are draining. And the more you focus on the drain, the more your life will become draining. I know this firsthand because this is how I lived too long of my life. And it's not something you can just switch. You must become aware of your inner world, your inner dialogue. And when you become aware of it, then you get a choice of what to do or not to do. And the choice is entirely yours. Whether you're choosing consciously or unconsciously, it is still a choice to do something or not to do something. We are but a speck of dust in the universe, yet we think everything revolves around us. We see the planet as ours to own and conquer, pillaging the land and setting ourselves up for our eventual extinction. We build fences and walls and create invisible borders. We separate ourselves. We find ourselves, how do I put it? Each one of us has a default program that tells us what achievements and accomplishments we're meant to be doing. By this age, do this, have that. By this age, do this, have that, and so on and on. Having, get married, have kids, have a house, or maybe not in that order, right? What order were you taught to do things? What order do you expect yourself to do things, and if you don't do it in that order, how do you feel about it? How much of a failure do you feel? How much do you feel like you've been doing things wrong? So we then start having this invisible expectation of ourselves to live a life in a certain way, to talk in a certain way, to carry ourselves in a certain way, to dress in a certain way, to express ourselves in a certain way, to say something, to not say something, to be feminine, to not be too feminine, be a bit masculine but not too masculine, be nice and polite and loving and gentle but yet not too much. And it becomes impossible. It becomes unbearable sometimes that we lose ourselves in the midst of this shit that we've all been fed down our throats. And we're told that you need to, build walls, build fences, have fences in your yards and in your mind. Don't say anything that you don't want people to find out. Don't make a fool of yourself, because nobody's gonna like you. People are gonna know who you are. But what's wrong with people knowing who you are? When did you decide that you wanted to hide from the world and pretend to be someone you're not? Now you know how exhausting it is. Now you know you don't want to do that. And it's not too late, even though your mind will tell you in all these different ways that it's too late. Happiness is not meant to be yours. It's reserved for other people. But it's not true. Happiness is not reserved for anyone. It's meant to be yours. But you must want it. And in some cases, you must earn it, which means you gotta do some jumping through the hoops. You gotta do some work. You gotta do some more healing. You gotta say yes to the things you want to say yes to, and you gotta say no to the things you want to say no to. Which means also figuring out what you want and what you don't want, who you are and who you're not, and who you're being. And then change that. Mother Earth doesn't need us to survive, but we need her. It's time to wake up. A new perspective is urgently needed. We become so lost in our individual experience that we don't realize that most of the things that keep us awake at night are actually distractions. They are distractions from what life was meant to be. All your numbers in the bank account, all your numbers in messages, in friends, how many friends you have, how many people like you, how many people don't like you, family members, how many family members you have, everything is like a freaking matrix. And you've been fed a lot of lies that you have to call upon yourself to believe that this is truth, this is reality, this is what life is. Life is not that way. Life is meant to be whatever it is you make it out to be. My favorite quote that, I don't know if I heard it or I came up with it, doesn't matter where it came from. It all comes from the ether, if you will, from the eternal, from the Akashic records, that if life is not fun, then you're doing it wrong. And I was doing life wrong for a long time, for too long. And when I realized that I was doing it wrong, I said, okay, instead of dwelling on what I was doing wrong and why I was doing wrong, let's shift the focus from that to, okay, where do I go from here? How do I do it right? What's in it for me? How do I want to do it right? How do I want to live life? How do I become obsessed with life? And do that every day. And the things that keeping you awake at night are, the reason why they're keeping you awake at night is because they're draining you and they're not bringing you happiness and joy. They're not what are going to help you to live an obsessed life. And most likely, actually, majority of those things are going to be the things that you have to con as yours that were given to you by other people. other people's wants, needs, desires, expectations, and fears, just to name a few. Even values that you carry, that you have, might not be yours. So it's a hole to dig yourself out of. And this is why this community is here. This is why we continue to bring different programs, different opportunities for each and every one of you to meet you where you are, to help you get out of where you are and help you get to where you want to be, and really help you to get rid of all the distractions that are not meant to be for you, that are from someone else, and uncover what yours are. We're wasting our precious time and resources fighting each other when we should be coming together to heal what's been severed. This moment is a breath in the timeline of your life. This life is a fleeting moment in the tapestry of your soul's experience. Your soul's experience is a flash in the timeline of the known universe. And the known universe is a grain of sand in the unknown universe. Take a moment to see the bigger picture, to find common ground, to find deep compassion in your heart, to gain a great perspective of humanity in this fleeting moment in the timeline of your soul's existence, in the timeline of all that is, was, and ever will be. This is your moment, your one-way ticket, your vacation. And if you're not having fun on your vacation, then you figure out what is in the way, what's blocking you, what's stopping you, and what do you really want? What do you really, really, really want? And go and do that. Go and live your life the way that you want to live your life. And enough with excuses, because most of the things that we allow to stop us from doing what we want to do are a bunch of excuses. And when we start to recognize and be honest with ourselves that these are temporarily maybe legitimate reasons, but in the long run, they're excuses. Because if you wanted to do something and it's been years since you got to do what you wanted to do, then what's really getting in your way? Usually it's going to be you. You're getting in your own way. You're not allowing yourself to do the things you want to do, to live the life you want to live. So figure out what you want. Figure out why you want it. The why is very important. So that way, when things get in the way and you try to get out of doing the things that you want to do, your why will ground the shiznit out of you. Make sure it's powerful enough. And you go and you do what you say you want to do. Sometimes in the moment, yes, it might be legitimate. But then after that moment has passed, we all eventually get tired of our quote-unquote reasons, which are more often than not excuses for why we say we can't do this, we can't do that. But if you really wanted to, you would. If this was the person that you care and love about the most and they wanted to do that, wouldn't you encourage them? Wouldn't you support them? Wouldn't you motivate them? Wouldn't you make sure that they do what they want to do? Why can't you do that for yourself? You already know how, because you're doing it for everyone else. Why can't you do that for yourself? So, now, StarSeed Soul Inquiry. How are you being called to change your perspective? How are you being called to change your perspective? Shift it from the one that you have into a different one. And by the way, the one card reading with this deck, it means baby step. The next step you're being called to take. So this is the next step you're being called to take. Shift your perspective. Understand what you want, what you don't want. Look at the bigger picture. Don't focus on what is and think about, or what was, right? Don't think and focus on what was. Think about what is and what could be. Present moment, future. The past is the teacher. And if you keep looking at the past, that means that there's still more lessons to learn and uncover. And as helpful as it can be, it can also be detrimental to your well-being. So don't get stuck in the past. Focus on the now, on the one little step that you can take now, and focus on the future. What you do today will create the tomorrow that you want or don't want. Action in action. What do you want? If you want this kind of a life, how are you going to get there? One step at a time. And take that step each and every day. And then you'll get there. But by sitting and not doing anything about it, and wishing or praying and hoping that you had this, you had more time, you had more money, you had more energy, you had more positivity, whatever it is that you're wishing doesn't do anything. Wishing only helps to keep you in the space of lack, not having enough time, not having enough energy, not having enough money. And the universe will prove that to you, will give that to you, because you tell the universe, this is what I want, even though this is not what you want, but this is what essentially you're saying to the universe. And there's the energy that you create when you're in those states that sends out the messages to the universe and attracts more of that to you. You are a magnet. So if you're focused on the lack, you as a magnet, you attract lack. You magnetize those things towards yourself, and you repel all the things that you actually do want. Rebecca says, during the sickness, I realized that I am overwhelmed by my current lifestyle. This is not an easy thing for me to admit because I created this. It's my dream come true, and I want to do it alone. I want it to be all mine. I don't want to ask ask for help. I don't want help. I don't know how I do it all. Yana, you're amazing. Thank you. And you have 2 more kids than I do, and it's understandable with everything that you have going on and everything that you're taking on, all the new opportunities, all these new amazing things. And it's very, very normal, more than normal, to question yourself given everything that you're doing and going through and all the new things that are coming and about to take place and shape. And question, who am I to be doing this? Why me? There's better people out there. If you wouldn't be going through this, you wouldn't be giving what you're giving, you wouldn't be given this life that you're living if someone else was better at it. You're the perfect person for this job that's called Life of Rebecca. My life, I'm the perfect person for this job, for my life. We can call life a job, if you will. And no one can do it better than I can. No one can do it better than you can. Of course, it's normal to feel overwhelmed once in a while, especially when there's new things that are coming in. Initially, it'll be exciting, and then it can feel, it's a roller coaster, right? It feels exciting, it feels great, and then it feels too much, and it feels impossible, and then again, it's great, it's amazing, and then opens up new doors, new windows, and it's great and amazing, and then down again, it feels crappy, and it's like, oh, why me? It's part of the process for you, to help you uncover yourself, uncover what you want, what you don't want, all the different parts of your life, and also to learn how to ask for help. And maybe harder one of them all is to accept the help. to say yes to the help that is there available to you, to each and every one of you, and to say no to the things in the help that does not align with you and where you want to be and the problem that that help would solve, and maybe the challenge that it would resolve, or something that it might take off your plate so you don't have to be dealing with it. Oh, my stupid mouse. Your hair, Rebecca says, your hair looks beautiful. I thought you had curly hair for some reason. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I do have, my hair is a little curly, and I allow it to be curly once in a while. And sometimes I just, straighten it and put a little bit of a curl into it. I'm still kind of figuring out what there's the best shampoo and conditioner, the best products for my hair, because it's like a science experiment. You gotta go through some of these products for a little while to know and feel what it is. And my hair is naturally frizzy, and hence it means naturally curly hair, or more like wavy hair. Rebecca says, if I could hire a housekeeper, that would be such a great help. So that is a great realization. How much would a housekeeper cost? And then also, there's a few questions that you can ask. How much does a housekeeper cost? And then the comparison of that cost. How much is your stress, your time, your energy cleaning it? How much would you pay someone to take it off your plate? And then when it comes to paying for it, how can you afford it? What can you do to pay for it? Maybe extra job, maybe selling some things from the house to afford someone to come and clean. Is it someone that you need to come and clean every week, probably not every day, every week, every 2 weeks, every month? What does that mean? And looking down this rabbit hole, because if this is something that you really want, well, there's a will, there's a way. You can make it happen. Rebecca says, I would pay $1,000 if I could, right? So if you pay $1,000, if you could, for someone to come and clean the house. Now, how much does it actually cost for someone to come in and clean the house? Have you looked into that avenue? Is it something that maybe you can even enroll your children into doing if they want to earn a few bucks here or there to save you the time, the energy, the stress? Because if you say you could pay someone $1,000, I know it doesn't cost $1,000 to clean a house. So it sounds like it would be quite affordable in the end with that time that you pay someone else to clean the house. How would you utilize that time for yourself, for your family, for your career, business, that you can earn more than you're paying? The exchange. So if we see value in something like that, then how can you go about it? Bonnie says, exactly. The choice I made to make sure I got to this teachings, I couldn't agree more. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. Everything's a choice. We can choose to say yes to certain teachings or say no. We can say yes to a certain community or say no. And also we can choose to hear and listen to information and not do anything about it. The choice is entirely ours. Whether it's a conscious choice or unconscious choice, it's still a choice. And the more we focus on bringing the conscious choice up front, the more we will continue to reprogram our default program, so we become the version of ourselves that we so far have been hoping and dreaming and praying for, right? So that's all I want to say for today. Thank you, ladies, for hopping on a live with me, for sharing and interacting. Hello to all of you silent watchers as well. I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you with your biggest takeaway from today. And then also seeing you on the next 2 weeks recorded live video, recorded card readings that I have put together for you all, and seeing what your biggest takeaways from those ones are as well. And until we see each other next time, have an amazing the rest of your day, the rest of your week, and pour love and energy into yourself first, and then others. Practice giving from a full cup and not an empty one. Otherwise, it just becomes emptier and emptier and emptier. So that is all. Hey, Tammy, to you as well. And you're welcome. My pleasure. I love doing these card readings. So give from a full cup, overflowing cup. Means what do you need to do to refill your cup so it's overflowing? Go and do that. Until next time. Bye, everybody.